Living Sober. It is episode 458. Hey, everybody. Welcome. If you're here for the first time, I'm so glad you found us. I hope you enjoy today's podcast. And if you do, please subscribe. And if you want to go one more step and go to Patreon, www.patreon.com/busy living sober and sign up. It would be amazing. It would be an amazing gift for me for the 4th of July. It'd be awesome if you would do that. I can't thank you enough if you would. So go to Busy Living Sober at Patreon, patreon.com/busy living sober, and subscribe to my channel here on YouTube and subscribe wherever you like to listen. If that is Spotify, iTunes, iHeartRadio, wherever it is, just please subscribe. And that's enough of my little advertisement for today. So if you're not watching me and you're just listening to me on in your headphones or in your car while you're working out, while you're taking a walk, whatever it is, I'm wearing red earrings. I have red lipstick on, and I'm wearing an American flag t-shirt because it's the 4th of July. If you don't get my newsletter, I'm just going to fill you in about last week's because I talked about it being the 4th of July and what it felt like as a child. So I grew up in St. Louis, Missouri, for those of you guys that are new or they didn't know this. So I grew up, and I always like to say that when I grew up, it was the home of Anheuser-Busch, um, the St. Louis Cardinals, and apple pie. So I'm from the middle of the country with the arch right there in the middle. A lot of people forget about the middle of the country, but that's where I'm from. And I remember growing up, the fireworks would be so amazing. It was just like the best. And then, of course, when I got to be like 13, 14, 15, I was drinking, of course, already. And so it was like going to a baseball game and watching the fireworks under the arch with my friends and doing stuff like that. But I've always, always, always loved the 4th of July. I guess because I've always loved America. And it seems like it's kind of bad to say you love America today, isn't it? It's kind of weird. It's like, wow, I can't say I love America. Somebody was telling me actually yesterday, I was in a shop up in Stuart, Florida, and I was talking to the woman that was working the shop, and she said, "Oh my gosh, we had a garage sale just recently, and somebody came to my house and saw that we had an American flag hanging outside of her house." And the woman looks at her and goes, "Ow, you have an American flag outside of your house? That must mean you're a Trumper." What? Where are we living these days, you guys? Wait a minute. I thought we are supposed to be patriotic just because we're American and we love America. So we put out an American flag. It doesn't mean one thing or the other, right? I don't think Donald Trump made it like bad for everybody else to put out a flag. I think he was just like, he loves America. And if you hate Donald Trump, you hate America. Is that what it is? I don't know. Very interesting times. Very interesting times. Gosh, that debate. Wow. Oh my gosh, was that painful to watch. His wife must not like him at all. I can't imagine doing that to even like my worst enemy, is putting them on stage when they obviously are not doing their best. I just thought it was really heartbreaking. I don't know how great either of them did, to be honest, but I just have to tell you that when I saw Joe Biden, I was like, "Oh my gosh, he's needs to be sitting on the beach somewhere with his grandchildren, enjoying the summer and enjoying his days on Earth, probably last year's on Earth." And instead, she has him parading in front of the world saying, "Oh my gosh, you did such a good job," like you talked to your dog. And but I have to say that I did think that Donald Trump looked presidential, which was amazing because I think he could have gone bam, bam, and hit him, and it would have been nice. Um, but aside from politics, it is the 4th of July, and it's a time of year that we all celebrate. And I remember, because I was interviewed actually last week for a podcast, and somebody asked me a question, and if I was ever tempted, and when I was really tempted. And I have to say, when I was going to just like give up sobriety, the summer, so I got sober in August of 2006. Okay, fast forward to the summer of 2007. I was out at a friend's house on the end of Long Island, and I was at my friend's house, and there was a party going on, and they were setting up the bars and all these cocktails and all the rest of it. And I, of course, have been feeling a little squirrely because I was going to a party, and I knew that I quit drinking, and I didn't know how comfortable I was going to be in this environment. Because how many of us feel like that? We go to this party, no matter how well we know the people, no matter I mean, sometimes it's even with our own family, because at least my family is like the biggest triggers of me forever, forever and ever and ever. Like I get around them, I'm like uncomfortable. But when we get that uncomfortable feeling, what do we want to do? We want to pick up a drink or we want to pick up a drug, right? We want to just get those feelings to go away. It sucks when we're sitting there inside of ourselves, hating the feeling of like, what is this going to be like? Oh my gosh, this is too much. There's going to be too many people. What am I going to say? How am I supposed to act? Is my outfit good? Oh my gosh, is my outfit? Da, da, da. I mean, the crazy stuff that goes through our heads, right? So, 2007, I arrive at this party. I'd given up drinking in August the year before. And I remember looking at my friend going, I'm done. I've done this for almost a year. I think I'm done. I think I can just have a drink. I'm fine. And she looked at me, God rest her soul, Nadinia. And she said to me, No, Busy, you're not allowed to drink. I have a friend here. I think I know somebody who can take you to a meeting. So she did. She called a friend and phoned a friend, and that friend came and picked me up. And I went to an AA meeting, and it was amazing. And I didn't drink. And it's so crazy that here I am on like the eve of when that happened. I guess it was almost 20 years ago. And when I quit, and I think about back to how that was like the way that's how I dealt with everything, you guys, was by drinking. It was like, how do I deal with the fact that I feel uncomfortable? I'm going to drink. That's what I'm going to do. It's my answer. I don't have to feel. It's like was my answer from that first time I had a sip when I was 13 years old. I remember having that feeling like, gosh, if you're watching this, you could see my shoulders go down. And I'm going to tell you guys something really quick. I have the worst back pain. I went to the gym, hurt my back. So I'm sitting here with an ice pack on my back and like all these pillows. So that's why I might look a little weird, just to let you know. But again, with the pain I have now, I'm still not using anything. I went to the doctor. They're like, take this drug, take this drug. And I'm like, no, I'll just take Tylenol. I did take 1 day's worth, and I have to tell you, it did not work out for me too well. I didn't take away the pain, and then going to the bathroom was hard. Not too TMI, I hope, but I was like, I don't need to take these drugs. I can take some Tylenol. And today I even said to JF, I said, what did they do when the pre-doctors in this world? What did you do? I guess you just worked through it and just waited till the pain went away. And I think that's what I have to do. And I have to sit, and sitting is hard, right? Not running around and doing stuff and being busy is hard. We live in a society, at least I do, where I have to be busy doing something all the time. Hence, my nickname's Busy. And it's either painting, needlepoint, vacuuming, cleaning out the dishwasher, doing laundry, going outside and playing in my garden, planting flowers, doing this, doing that, going and playing golf, going swimming on the ocean, going swimming in my pool, doing some things. Always have to do something. God forbid I just sit. It is not comfortable to just sit. It wasn't comfortable going to that party back in 2007. It didn't feel comfortable. And when I learned when I was 13 years old, which I can't even count back to what year that was, but when I was 13 years old and I tried that alcohol and it like gave me this answer that it was like I didn't have to feel, I still think about that today, almost 18 years into this. So, what do you do? Like, here I am with this hurt back today in 2024, and I have to sit down and I have to wait for the pain to go away. And I go to the doctor, I talk to the doctor, I go to a chiropractor, I do what I have to do. And I don't want to take drugs because I don't want to get addicted to drugs. I know that's happened to a lot of people that quit drinking. They go and they pick up a pill, and then one thing leads to another. And I don't want to tempt fate by any stretch of the imagination. So I just grin and bear it, right? There is no pain, no gain, right? I don't know where we learned as a society that we are supposed to be happy all the time, that we are supposed to not feel any pain all the time, that we're just supposed to just be in this la la land. Is it because we watch social media now and we see everybody that looks perfect and we're supposed to be perfect all the time too? I don't think so. The only person I think is perfect is God and maybe his mother, Mary. That's about it. Nobody walking on this planet is perfect. We all have flaws. We are all sinners. So, how do we get through these days when some days it's harder than others? And especially on the celebration of our country's birth from 1776, here we are, and it's America's birthday. And for so long, what represented America's birthday, at least for me, was a barbecue, some beer, some wine, probably some shots, some jello shots, being outside with people and getting inebriated because I didn't want to feel. And now I don't do that. In fact, what do I think about? I think about fireworks and how is my dog going to feel? Because I don't know if you guys have a dog like I do, but I have this little dog and she does not like fireworks at all. She jumps in my lap, she hides, she's like, I don't like these noises. What's going on? I think about her. Which is so crazy, right? I'm like, "Okay, is she gonna be okay?" And I remember when my kids were little, you go to a party with your kids and I would drink, right? When they were little. It would be the 4th of July and it'd be about the fireworks and having cocktails. I mean, luckily where we would go and watch most of our fireworks was either at our high school, which you couldn't bring alcoholic beverages to, and when they were littler, we did go somewhere and I would have some, I'd obviously have somebody driving me or whatever, or we'd walk and because we could go watch fireworks at the end down at the end of our road. And but it was like again, a barbecue drinking. It's America's birthday. But here we are, 2024. That is not the answer anymore. I cannot think that I'm gonna go and have some drinks. I'm not going to go have drinks on the 4th of July. So, what am I going to do? What are you going to do? What's your plan? How are you going to manage this 4th of July? If you're newly sober, congratulations. If this is your first 4th of July, that's awesome. How are you going to get through this first 4th of July, making sure that you don't pick up a drink? Because I will promise you this if you pick up a drink on July 4th, you will wake up on July 5th and go, why did I just do that? I'll tell you that. That will happen. I promise you. And you'll wake up going, I just messed up. Why did I mess up? Why did I mess up? Why did I take that sip? Because it's the sip that leads us down the dark rabbit hole of one leads to two, two leads to three, and three leads to four, and four leads to five. And here we go. And we are inebriated again. And we're going, why did I do this? And hopefully, luckily, it doesn't get you hurt or somebody in your family hurt or a stranger hurt because you decided on July 4th that you didn't like the feelings you were having. So you picked up a drink instead of staying true to yourself. That it's just when you made the decision that, you know what, you and alcohol had to break up. You can't go back and have any anymore. It's over. Once you've broken up, there's no reruns. I got to tell you. I know a lot of people do relapse, and I'm so grateful for the people that do and that they do come back because they show me how bad it gets if you do try it again. That scares me enough to not pick up. That has scared me enough still to this day. I am scared of alcohol. I look at it and I'm like, I don't want any. I don't want any. I don't want any. I tell you guys, I did have a drunk dream the other night, and I haven't had one of those in years. But I remember I was having, and I got arrested. How crazy was that? In my dream, I drank and I got arrested. And that's like my biggest fear, I think, of anything is going to jail because I don't think I would do well there. Um, and I had a drink and I got pulled over and they're like, how many drinks have you had? And I was like, I just had one. And they're like, I don't think so. And they didn't believe me and they arrested me. Thank God I woke up the next day and I'm like, okay, I need to go to church and I need to go to a 12-step meeting, which I did. And I talked to JF about it. I talked to another friend about it, and it was really like, wow, it's still here. That that thought of having a drink is in my subconscious, obviously. Somewhere deep inside, I still have that thought of like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna have a drink and I'm gonna have a feeling of, oh, not a good singer, obviously. And that sense of like everything's peaceful, everything's calm, which is what alcohol does for seconds. And then the rest of the time you're chasing it, at least I was. And that thought of that being the answer is still in my subconscious. That's why I've got to be diligent. Still now today, 18, almost 18 years later, I still have to be diligent. And there's so many things for you to do. If you want to go out, which you should, and be with your friends, I hope you can. Now, you can go out with your friends, but if you start to get that feeling of uncomfortable or, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? I just feel like having a drink. I feel so bad right now. My insides are hurting. I'm comparing everybody's outsides to my insides. So, hear me, do you understand that? Like, so the way you feel inside yourself, you judge somebody by their outsides, right? You don't know what's going on inside their brain, right? Nobody knows what anybody else's insides are doing in their brain unless you're maybe a neurologist and you're hooked up to a machine. Unless that person's telling you, which sometimes people don't even tell the truth, right? You don't know what anybody else is going through, but you picture the way they look on the outside. We spend so much time these days on the outside, right? People get their lips done. I even have lipstick on today, which I never wear, but I put it on because it was red and it matches my little outfit and I wanted to look patriotic, but I normally don't. But people are so worried about their lips and their boobs and their fillers and their Botox and their lines and all the rest of this stuff. And I get it because I hate getting old. I get it. And I get that that works. And if it works for you, that's awesome. But to also remember the insides. How are your insides feeling? For those of you that have heard this a bunch, I'm sorry, but I'm going to say it again. When I was first getting sober, my sponsor, fellow traveler who had a lot more time than I do and still does, has a lot more time than me. I haven't been able to catch her. Um, she would say to me, because I'd walk into the meeting and she'd be like, I want your insides to match your outsides. And I'd be like, what the heck does that mean? She goes, I want you to feel as pretty inside as you look on the outside. I want you to be full as much hope as you feel on the outside. You look like you're hopeful on the outside. You're smiling, you look happy. I want you to feel that inside. And I took a deep breath and I exhaled. And I thought, wow, that's going to be a tough road to hoe. I can put on makeup. I can get my hair colored. I can even put it in a ponytail. But having my insides match my outsides has been an actual journey since she told me that. Because I can't tell you that every day I wake up and feel maybe as healthy or as good as I look on the outside, on the inside. Because I'm human and we're living in a human world. And we're living in a world today, at least for me, that 2 + 2 is not equaling 4, and I don't understand it. And it gets me perplexed and it gets me upset and it gets me angry. But what can I do? But I want my insides to match my outsides. I want to love on the outside. Like I love people on the outside, but I want to feel it in my heart. I don't want to judge anybody. But today it seems like there's so much to judge. So much. And it's crazy because it is 17, it started in 1776 and it started because we wanted to be we the people, not this group against this group fighting this group. It wasn't supposed to be all of us inside of this country going against each other. But that's where we are today. You're good, I'm bad. And I think it comes actually from the people that lead us. You could hear it the other night. You know, if you are a Republican, you hate America. If you are a Republican, you're an anarchist. If you're a Republican, if you believe in God, you're not a good person. Like seriously? After our country was started on the beliefs that we're allowed to believe in whatever, God was important when this country was founded. And God has to be important today. On our money, it says, "In God we trust." Do we not trust anymore? Is the money more important than what it says? Is buying all this stuff so that we feel better because I bought all this stuff so now I can keep up with the Joneses? Keeping up with the Joneses doesn't bring you joy. It just maybe gives you a sense of like, "Oh my gosh, I'm I'm just as good as those people." But is that a real feeling or is that a fleeting feeling? I think is a fleeting feeling, at least it was for me. I can even tell you that I remember being at a black tie function years ago. This is like 25 years ago maybe. And I remember being at this black tie function and there I am in this really pretty dress and really pretty shoes and everything else, right? And I've got a glass of wine in my hand and a pack of smokes and I'm thinking to myself, is this it? Is this it? I'm in this beautiful room with all these beautiful people and my first thought is this it? Is this what I've been looking for? Is this where I'm finding joy? Because I don't feel a lot of joy right now. I feel like I'm in a room with a bunch of people, but I'm all by myself. I don't have a true friend here, but this alcohol is sure making it easier to get through this. Does it gives us a false sense of joy, a false sense of like I'm okay. It's not a real sense. That real sense is an inside job. That finding that relationship with God or your higher power is where it all comes from. You know, it's really interesting. I found recently that so many people are so okay with just saying, you can do whatever you want to do. It's okay. You do what you want to do, and that's okay. Like, for instance, I know someone that started started smoking weed, and they said to me, well, I said, "Oh, are you going to recount your sobriety date?" And they're like, "No, it's alcoholics, and it's alcohol. It's that I've given up, not weed." I'm like, "Oh, okay, okay. Well, last I checked, being sober means you're off of everything." Is there like a fine line there? Like, are you half sober and half not? Like, what is that? What is that? Like being sober for me personally, for Elizabeth Chance, is not having any alcohol or drugs in my system. Now, I know that sounds really uncomfortable, and it has been at times. It has been at times most recently, like this back thing that I'm having right now. Not so comfortable. Not so comfortable. I have to sit in my stuff. I got to feel the feelings. And I can't react over them. And I have to sit and I have to breathe. Oh my gosh, listen to my dog. I'm so sorry. Um, I am just like she's obviously bored from my story. I hope you aren't the listener because she is there snoring up a storm. Lily, I'm gonna call her because I want her to stop. Anyway, back to what I was saying. You know, I got to feel the feelings. I got to sit in the stuff and I got to not pick up something else. So I can have these feelings and they're going to come and they're going to go. And maybe I'm going to have to put on my favorite music and dance around the kitchen. Not too much, mostly with my arms, not with the whole body, just the arms. Because the arms are the only thing that feel like they work anyway right now. That's what I get for like starting to go work out. I hadn't worked out in a long time. And I went to the gym and acted like I had just been there, last week. Had been years. But anyway, I've always walked, but I haven't going and having somebody push you through a rigorous um gym session is hard. And lifting heavy weights is hard. And I just went and I did it and didn't take my time. And that's how life becomes, right? We don't take our time. We don't make sure that we're prepared and we get hurt. And I hope you look at this 4th of July. If it's your first 4th of July, if it's your 25th 4th of July, if it's your 50th 4th of July, not drinking, and you're like, what am I going to do? For one, make sure you bring what you like to drink, not what anybody else wants to drink, what you want to drink. I always stop and get a case of Pellegrino because that's my drink. And I also bring lemons because I love lemons. And you can even bring your own glass if you want to, but I don't bring my own glass. And then I bring the case. And then the hostess is always, or host is very happy because they have a lot of drinks then to serve their people that don't drink and they didn't get a chance to think about it. So they're like, oh, wow, we have Pellegrino. And it seems like when you bring a non alcoholic drink, people tend to drink that a lot anyway, because people who don't have a drinking problem have one glass of wine and then they're like, all right, now I need something else to drink. I don't want to drink anymore. I had that feeling. I've got so many friends that do that. They're like, I had the feeling, I stopped. I don't want to drink anymore. I'm like, how lucky are you? I have one and I have 47. I'm like, what did I do? But this year it's about being grateful to being an American. How it is today, I know it's not great, but we still have it. We still are able today to honor America and hang our flag. And I would hope that if you are a Democrat or you are, you know, you don't know what independent or whatever you are, that you would hang the flag too. I hope you would still love this country. I don't know if any of you listened to Monday's podcast, but if you did, I had a veteran on, and it was such a moving podcast. He had fought in Desert Storm in Iraq, and he talks about what that was like. And if you're out there and you're listening to this, you understand, like, if there's people that go out and fight for our country and they don't really have any other options when they're graduating from high school in lots of parts of this country, and they go and they fight for our country. And they go to places they never ever thought they would go to, and they see things that they never ever thought they were going to see. And they experience these experiences that they never thought they could ever experience. And they see things and they see a lot of death and a lot of violence and a lot of stuff that doesn't disappear. And they've gone and they fought for us and our freedoms to be able to do what we do here in this country, the ability to vote, the ability to hang a flag or not hang a flag, the ability to go march or not march. Those are all our freedoms. And people go out there and fight for us. And we can't forget about them. We have to say thank you. We have to say thank you to America. We have to be proud. We don't have to be ashamed. That's a lie. If we got back to basics, it's kind of funny. When I was in Medjugorje, it was so basic, right? It was so basic there. They don't have Amazon. They don't have all this other stuff. They don't have all this other noise. I think some of the young people do have social media, but they don't have it to the extent that we do. And when I was there, it was so calm. It was so peaceful. And people go into churches like it's nobody's business. Thousands of people are in church. It's crazy. Can you imagine if our churches were filled like that today? And they're happy and they're calm. And it's not as phonetic and crazy as it here is here in America. But I don't say that we go back to that. But I do say that we go back to a place where we love each other, even if you vote differently. Because I have some dear friends, dear, dear friends that don't vote the same way I do, and I love them to death. Nothing's going to separate us when we go to that ballot box. I still love them, and that's okay. As much as they say we're supposed to hate each other, I'm not buying it. I think we need to love each other. And if you're out there and you're trying to love yourself and you don't want to drink anymore, make it a priority. What's your escape plan when you're at your 4th of July party or wherever you're going to go and watch the fireworks? What are you going to do to make sure you're okay? What are you going to bring to drink? How are you going to get out of there when you need to get out of there? How are you going to do it? Are you going to order an Uber? Are you going to bring your bike? Do you have your own car? What are you going to do? Because you have to take care of you. You have to put your life, as they say on an airplane, you have to put the oxygen mask on your face. And how are you going to get out of there? And what is your excuse going to be? Hint, Wimbledon's on if you like tennis. I love to watch tennis. So record the tennis and you could watch all the tennis you want. You could have it all recorded. And when you go home, just make a big bowl of popcorn, get your favorite drink and sit back and watch some tennis or watch the fireworks in a different city, being at home or a different country on TV. I guess they don't have fireworks in different countries, let's be honest. It's the 4th of July, it's just in America. Hello, Elizabeth, blonde hair and all. All right, that's enough from me. I just want to tell you that if you're out there, you're not alone. I promise you, you're not alone. I hope you have a fabulous 4th of July. I hope you and your families are safe. I hope you get to enjoy some good food. And if you have decided to get sober, I hope you make it through this holiday and know that you doing what's important for you is so important. If you've decided that you don't want to drink and you don't want to pick up a drug, find your exit plan. It's just like when I was growing up in St. Louis and we had tornadoes, we always had a plan. What is your plan so that you're going to stay sober and make sure you wake up on July 5th going, I'm still sober. I know you can do it. I know you can make a plan. It might take some time, but you're worth it. Your sobriety is worth it. Taking your time to do this is important. Taking time to love yourself is important. And taking time to be there for those around you that might need you and being there with all 100% of your capacities, faculties. You want to be able to, if somebody, God forbid, runs in front of your car, you want to be able to push. Oh my gosh, I got to push the brakes. You want to make sure your kids have a mom or a dad or an aunt or an uncle. You want to be 100%. Don't give it away to that booze. It's not worth it. All right, that's enough of me. Until next time, a couple more things. I'm going to go back to that thing I talked about in the beginning. Will you please subscribe to my channel? Subscribe. And please go to patreon.com /busy living sober and subscribe to my Patreon account. That would mean so much to me. And if you go to elizabethchance.com or busylivingsober.com, BUSYLIVINGSOBER.com, it'll prompt you right when you when you go to my website. It will ask for your email address. That's to get my newsletter into your inbox if you want it. And I will be putting out a newsletter this Friday. But again, thanks for listening. Thanks for coming. Thanks for spending your time with me and listening to me today. I really, really, really appreciate it. I'm sending big hugs, big love to all of you out there. And again, a happy 4th of July. And until next time, keep getting busy, living. Bye, everybody. Take care. I'm doing this with my camera, so I have to look over here. Bye, everybody. Take care. Until next time, keep getting busy, living sober.